In this tutorial, we're going to look through part 2 of the building system within Survival RPG Engine. The building manager is the heart of your base when building. It allows you to execute functionality across your entire base from a single location. It also lets you define an area around it in which building is possible. Although the building manager is optional for most buildings, the power system and farm systems require it. When the building manager is created, we first set up its level. This controls the build area size around the building manager. Once loaded, it will check the area to see if any buildings already exist. For example, if the building manager was previously destroyed. This is done through a box collision that expands with the base. The building manager can also have a base power value, allowing it to act as a consistent power source. Building managers will also appear on the map when created. Finally, we set up the power component. The building manager is considered the power manager for the power system. When interacting with the building manager, you'll bring up the manager UI. On game load, the building manager is loaded from the save file. This is done in the same way as begin play. As the power manager, power status will be updated anytime a power source or sink is built or removed. This will check the power requirements and enable/disable power as needed. Similarly, for farming, we keep track of all farming plots and loop through a growing phase. This growing phase will check if the plot is actively growing and not complete, and advance the growth by 1 second. This farming timer will only run if there is an actively growing farm plot. Anytime a plot is updated, we add it or remove it from the count of growing plots. If there are no growing plots, we disable the timer. This allows for an extremely performant farming system, as only one timer ever runs regardless of how many total farming plots you have. Anytime a container is built within the building area, it is added to the building manager. This allows the crafting component to check crafting requirements across all containers in the building area and use them as needed from multiple containers at once. When attempting to craft, the crafting component will check if a building manager is used. If it is, it will run the check that looks at all containers. This is a very common base feature in most modern survival games. Going back to the building component, anytime a building is created, information is sent to the building manager. One piece of information is the building type. By default, there are power, farming, and container types. More types can be added here to create unique functionality that runs on the building manager. The bulk of the power functionality lives within the power component. When kicking off the power manager, we check the area for other power-related actors and apply them as needed based on if it's a power user or a power source. Updating power usage is called anytime a power user or source is added or removed. This will recalculate the amount of power being used. Each power user will then be sent if it's powered or not. Power users and power sources are added as unique actors to the array. This is done on begin play, so there's no need to save or load which actors exist. Power users will not update power usage on add, as the actor itself handles that. Power source will update on both add and remove. Finally, if the actor the power manager is on is destroyed, it will remove itself from all of the users. This ensures that they can be re-added to another power manager later. Power zones allow you to further adjust where power is applied. If enabled, power towers have a radius that the power actor must be in to be powered. There are 4 pre-setup actors that can be used for the power system: a user and a source for both with containers and without. An example of a power source without a container would be a solar panel. With container would be a coal power plant that requires coal to run. The power user has a bit more functionality to ensure it's within a power zone and properly updates its power status if it changes. Let's look at the data tables. Firstly is the building manager table. This includes the build area size, amount of levels, and cost to level. Finally is the power tower. These will attach to power users in a certain range. Similar to Dyson's sphere program, the tower will hold each power user. If there are multiple towers in the same area, it will pick the one with the least load. If the tower is destroyed, it will automatically attempt to find a new tower for all of its users. Next, let's look at farming. Each plot is a single farming location. It takes in a seed and grows plants. The plot has a built-in widget to show a timer when you look at it in the world. Consume seed is the main functionality of the plot. It will look at what seed was added and attempt to use it. How it uses it is based on the plant info of the item added. If you go into the item data table and select a seed, you can see there is a plant info extension that points to the plant data table. Here we have all of the details about the plant are controlled, including time to grow, if it uses a single mesh that gets bigger or multiple meshes, and what the result is when growth is complete. Update plant growth is called once when the seed is consumed, and then every second by the building manager after that. This will look at the data values for the growth and either advance it by 1 second or complete the growth. If the growth is completed, it will remove itself from the building manager to ensure we disable the timer if there are no growing plots. As mentioned previously, all of this functionality runs on the building manager to ensure that the performance impact of having 1 plot or 100 plots is minimal. Finally, if the plant can be collected, it will run collect plant. This will add the growth item to your inventory, and if there are more seeds in the plot, start the next growth. I hope this has given you a quick rundown of the building master, power, and farming aspects of the building system and how Survival RPG Engine can quickly and easily enable you to create your dream game. This is part 2 of a 3-part building review. For more updates and tutorials, don't forget to like and subscribe.